Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of SUGTalks. I'm Craig Dale, your host, and together with our special guests, we'll take a deep dive into the topics, challenges, and opportunities facing SAP users today. Please make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode. I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Alisha Gokani, SAP Solution Academy Associate at SAP. So, welcome, Alisha.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing Alicia's journey that led her to working for SAP and what the industry as a whole can do to foster future generations of talent. So, just before we get into that discussion, Alicia, I thought for this week's icebreaker, we thought we'd ask whether you are an early bird or a night owl. And that's kind of an easy one for me to answer. I'm definitely an early bird. I'm up around 5:30. Like to get outside for a walk, and I'm in bed normally by about 9 or 9:30. So definitely not a night owl. But then again, the weather can play a part in that too. And if time allows, I like to get out and cycle first thing. But what about you, Alicia?
So, I'd actually say I'd want to be a night owl because I am more a night owl. However, the way my life works, it has to be an early bird. Things got to get started in the morning. You have to be up early. But I would say I am more a little bit of a night owl where I can be. I am more productive in the evenings. I like to go to the gym in the evening. I get that little burst of energy. So, yeah, a bit of both, really.
Oh wow, that's brilliant. Well, when you get to my age, burning the candle at both ends isn't really a reality, I'm afraid. I have to choose one or the other. But okay, so Alicia, just moving on to our main topic, which in effect is you and your journey. Perhaps you could share a little bit on your background and I suppose what then led you to attending our UKISUG Connect conference as a student.
Yeah, so I was studying at the University of Portsmouth, doing a business and management degree. And at the University of Portsmouth, we had an option in our second year of learning to take a class called ERP, which actually went through multiple enterprise resource planning systems, including SAP's S4 HANA. So I had a little bit of insight into SAP as, a technology sort of company. However, I did receive an email saying that there was an opportunity for a few select students to attend the UKI SUG. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it, didn't really know much about it. It was all the way in Birmingham from me in being in Portsmouth. I'd have to arrange travel myself. But something in me was just like, I'm just going to apply. And I applied to go and was accepted by my university to have a ticket. And then, arranged my travel plans, decided I was going to take a solo journey from Portsmouth to Birmingham to attend a conference that I had no idea about. It was literally my first interaction with anything corporate. But in my head, I thought, it was an opportunity that just sparked my interest for some reason. In my head, I thought, I might be able to meet tons of companies that I could just get an idea around what the working world was like and attend an event with such a large capacity of different vendors and different people. So yeah, I just took the risk and ended up at the conference.
Oh, fantastic. And so what was your experience of the event?
So it was kind of overwhelming at first, being on my own and entering that exhibition hall for the first time and just seeing, so many stands of different companies doing different technologies. And really at the time I wasn't studying technology, I was studying business. So this was completely new to me. And I just took it on the chin really and went round to every single stand and decided to see what they were about, speak to someone, speak about, my experience as a student, where I'm looking to go in my career, and if there were like opportunities available to me. And I met some incredible people, from all different companies, and it was just a really great experience. And it's a lot of fun. I remember the year I went, there was a stand where you could scan your face and it would tell you what mood you're in, to give you a juice. And things like that, where all these things were happening around technology that I knew nothing about until I attended. And also at the time, they had a university afternoon there, which is where I met Lindsay Rowe and a few of the placement representatives, and got a chance to understand more about employability skills and also placement in itself, as it wasn't really something I was looking at until I went to the conference and understood more about the opportunities and experiences you can get from doing a working placement within your degree. So yeah, it was a really good experience, and it was something completely out of my comfort zone.
Oh, fantastic! So you found yourself talking to exhibitors and other attendees at the event, and hopefully everybody was welcoming, were they?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I understand, obviously, the conference itself and the exhibition hall is for that sort of thing, and having a student in there, it felt a little bit out of place, but everyone was so welcoming. I had people asking if I was coming tomorrow, if I was staying, and, I was there on my own. So it was great to meet a lot of people from all different backgrounds of technology as well,
Hmm.
who had different experiences coming into the event as well.
Okay, so did Connect help you on your journey? So did being at that event and having these conversations help you on your journey?
100%. I think I wouldn't even be here today without the without Connect, because I went into that university afternoon with not much persuasion to actually do a placement, and having the likes of Lindsay and other representatives from SAP itself teach us more about SAP as a company, because although at university I was studying the technological side, having the experience to see what a corporate company is like, having these great events, having the culture, having the people, understanding what they do from a people perspective as well, was definitely more enlightening to me to understand where I wanted to go with my future, especially because I didn't really consider tech. I mean, I'll hold my hands up. If you told me I was working in a technology company a few years ago, I
Mhm.
would laugh, because it wasn't something I thought about myself doing until I saw there was multiple opportunities and multiple roles that uses different skills. We went through employability skills in that session, and I related to a lot of them, and I thought, hold on a minute, this is something I could do. And I stayed a little bit later to speak to Lindsay and, just ask a question. I don't know where I want to go, but I know I want to do something. And at that point, she was really helpful in, looking at my skills and saying, well, this is where you could be. And it kind of encouraged me more that having a working placement within my degree will help me decide what I want to do after as well. Because I think a lot of students as well get in this mindset where you've got your degree, you've got 3 years, and afterwards, you have to align to that degree and the role. Whereas, for me, it was kind of, this is an opportunity to take a whole year to try out what I could do after I finished my degree without having those, ties and responsibilities that that's it, that I'm in the job world completely. So it was definitely a great decision to attend Connect, not only to get that insight into the corporate world, but also have someone teach me more about what I could be doing on a placement, for example.
Oh, that's fantastic, and I applaud you in the fact that you went out there, you put yourself right outside of your comfort zone, you spoke to people, and when you get to talk to people like Lindsay, who's very extremely passionate about bringing in young talent and nurturing talent and driving them through uh, within SAP, it it is. Uh, I suppose it's brilliant, and those conversations are very, very valuable. And going back to what you were saying about university, it's understanding that you've got transferable skills. Like you said, it doesn't have to be what you're studying, but what you're studying can actually help you in so many different roles and organizations. So what happened next then? So what influenced you to actually join the SAP Academy?
So between that and the SAP Academy, a lot. um, I think first of all, it was about applying for the placement and applying for a role. And at the time, I was in contact with Lindsay discussing, where would I fit realistically. And after my application, was successful. I went through the interview process for the placement. So we have a telephone interview and then also an assessment centre day. And I was fortunate enough that this was just before COVID, where we were able to have it in person. I
Mm,
think it was a matter of weeks before. So we had this in person where we were in the office. And again, this was a complete new experience being in an office and having an assessment for a whole day. Um, but towards the end of that assessment, I had my current department manager, Simon Geddes, come into my interview and explain to me what solution advisory was. And right then and there, I thought, this is the role, this is clicks for me. It really drives the technological side where I knew of S4 beforehand and also that creative side. So I was really, really happy that Lindsay had, gone above and beyond to say this is where you would fit. Um, and yeah, from that, I started my 13-month placement with SAP during COVID-19, which was another whole challenge in itself, being 100% virtual for pretty much 80% of it. However, it didn't really dampen the opportunities I had at SAP. I found myself being put in, situations where I did have a lot of responsibility as an intern, and it really pushed me and strengthened a lot of the skills that I did have, but didn't get an opportunity to work on until I was at placement. And it also made me really, invested in the role itself. I was quite fortunate to be working within the S4 HANA Solution Advisory team. So I got to see how they work. I got to, shadow people on actual customer calls, um, and really get a good idea of where I could be working. So it kind of really clicked in my head that the SAP Academy was something that I wanted to work towards and I wanted to get. So from there, after finishing my placement, I returned back to university for my final year. I also returned back to SAP as a part-time associate. So during about the second half of my degree final year, I was working part time with SAP, still in the same team, working on some great opportunities, and that really got me more experience as I went on, which also meant that when I finished my degree, I actually became a full time employee. And I worked on, gaining those skills that would really help me for the academy role. Because at the academy, there you have 6 months where you are training and learning for a solution advisory role, which really isn't a lot of time when you think about it for the role's demands. So having that time before to gain those experiences within the team, work with great people, work with customer opportunities, set me up great to be able to start with the academy. And yeah, I then was able to apply for the solution advisory role at the academy and have been an associate since April this year.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations, and I
Thank you.
think well done overall. You obviously set yourself a very busy final year at university, doing your final year and working part time at SAP towards a full time role. That was fantastic, and like you said, that experience set you in great stead for the next step of the academy.
Mhm.
And how have you found working and kind of learning through the SAP Academy so far?
So with the SAP Academy, it is very intense. The amount of knowledge that you're gaining, you have to just be a sponge. And it's great though, because you're learning from such experts and you have peers all around you in the same boat. And the amount of, knowledge that I've taken from my past work in SAP, and it's given me that stepping stone to really absorb what I'm getting from the academy a lot better. And with the academy itself, we have such a great faculty who really know what they're talking about in terms of techniques and customer experiences and things like that. And for me as well, it's almost like I had some base knowledge, but this is just taking it a whole lot further. I've been given so many more techniques and, frameworks and things I can use and take on throughout my career. It's almost like having a toolkit. You can just dip it in and out all the time of all the skills that you're given, because they are transferable as well. Yes, they're to do with solution advisory, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's only that role. You're looking at people skills, you're looking at how to communicate with people, you're looking at, presentation skills and your, professionalism and things like that. So it really does give you a whole bucket load of not only information and knowledge, but all those skills and soft skills that you might not pick up elsewhere, because someone is literally teaching you them as well and giving you the opportunity to practice and work with others. And also, I think one of the main things about the academy is that global reach. I now have a network of people from all over the world that I can go to for the rest of my career.
Fantastic. And what's the best part for you of working in the world of SAP?
I think for me, it's just definitely the people. I think when it comes to a job, your day to day, you're working with these people every single day. And if you're not surrounded by people that you want to be around and learn off of and have that culture around you, you're not going to be happy in yourself and your job. And I think what I've taken from SAP as my first corporate job as well is that everyone was always willing to help me and help me to learn and grow. And it was kind of surprising because you just don't expect that when you're starting out your career. But, people who've had 20 years experience were willing to sit down with me and take time out of their busy days to teach me something. And it was kind of like, this is a company I want to work at, because I can see myself constantly improving and growing just by being around these people. So I definitely think like the culture and the aspects that SAP embodies is definitely something that's kept me here and, always keeps me here.
Oh, fantastic! And I can really see now from that why you probably got so much out of Connect, because at the end of the day, the whole thing about the UKISUG community is the people, and it's everybody, whether a partner, SAP customer. It's all about the people. That's what makes the community vibrant and valuable to everybody involved. So I can really see how you fit really well into that.
We know our community, but we don't know yours yet. Why not share the benefits of your UKI Sub membership with those who don't know about us? The UKI Sub referral scheme rewards you for helping to grow and develop our community. You can check out the link in the description to find out more about how you can get involved. Terms and conditions apply. We hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast.
And so, if we look at the university perspective, going back to thinking about universities and what they offer students, etc., for the future, do you feel that there's enough information there about potential career pathways, not just SAP, but other kind of technology companies, etc., or is it just all about the Microsofts and the Googles?
I do think there is some knowledge, but I think also, so for me at my university, from my experience, we did have a whole department dedicated to employability and placements and things like that, who and there's like dedicated people who give you advice. However, it is also up to the students to reach out for that. And I do find as well that, so for example, being in a business and management degree, I had more insight into companies like SAP or into companies that were business or technology related because of my degree. However, I do think, all degrees should have some knowledge of companies and opportunities, because even at SAP, there's so many roles that someone could do from all different degree backgrounds. So I think there should be more insight from a wider perspective of universities. I think I was fortunate that I did do the degree I did do the class I did, and I knew of SAP, whereas I still speak to people today and they still have minimal knowledge of what SAP does. So I think it is a case of a mixed variety depending on your own experience and your own university. The University of Portsmouth have direct links with SAP, so that's why I could, position myself there. But yeah, I think it's a difficult one because it is dependent on everyone's university experience. I know that some people just, get through university and then just find a job, not really thinking about the long-term career as well. So I think there should be, potentially more events that we can hold at universities, or, talks or seminars that are advertised university-wide even, to say, this is a company, this is what they do, they hold placements or they have graduate opportunities in all these different roles as well. For me, if I thought of a technology company in the past, I would think, oh, I would be working in IT or I'd be working behind a computer. So understanding that there are completely different roles across the company would be quite good for, I think, students as well.
That's an interesting point there. And so, do you think kind of the technology industry, perhaps as a whole, has an image problem that, with that perspective, that you do expect to be just sat behind a computer coding if you work in that industry?
Yeah, well, I used to think this when I was a much younger student. I would think, oh, the technology, I would think I'm sitting there coding and looking at screens all day and not really, engaging with people, which is what I do. I engage with customers. I have so much creativity in my role that is completely different to my perspective of what I had before. So, yeah, I think if a lot more students, especially, knew about all the different kinds of roles that you can get from just one technology company, I think they'll be more engaged in understanding, looking into the job.
So increase that knowledge base and communication to ensure that that
Yeah.
message is getting through. That's interesting. Then, so if we have a focus on SAP in that regard, then what do you think could be done to maybe improve the visibility of SAP at universities?
I think, having representatives like myself as well who have gone into SAP placements. I mean, multiple students per year do placements from different universities all around the country. So there's a lot of diversity in different universities and degree backgrounds. And if more people were speaking up about it to their universities themselves can decide, they've got these representatives to show that there is success in these areas, in particular SAP, and, promote those after graduate jobs as well, promote those roles where you're not in a typical IT role, and give those students who have done placements a voice to spread around the university potentially. Um, I know that my university do have an SAP lab, for example. So we have some sort of like advertisement and promotion, but it's not really talked about.
Mhm.
Why is it there? What does it function? Where does it come from? So, we have multiple lectures all the time. Why not have 5 minutes to say, we've got all these different job opportunities, including, SAP, who give you placements, or there's graduate opportunities, and just talking about it a lot more in day to day. I think, like I said, we have so many lectures on learning. Why not one lecture on just job roles and employability and the different things that are out there, the different industries even that are out there, and options available.
Yeah, interesting. So not just explaining the what, but also the why. Why should you be interested? Why do we have a lab here? What does it mean for
Yeah.
you, etc.? And how can it help you? Fantastic. So just kind of going back to kind of SAP and the wider IT industry, what excites you most about the industry today?
So I think for me, as a young person as well, and everyone can agree, sustainability is a big thing, right? And before joining a technology company, I would have never pictured technology to have such an impact on sustainability. But after joining SAP and seeing the progress that we are making and seeing the progress that we are doing, and understanding that actually technology could really help so many people and so many companies move forward, was really surprising to me. And it's something about the technology industry that I really love. It's one of them things that I did not expect. And I've had a lot of involvement in some of the technology sustainability side of things, and it's so interesting to see how we can help other people and other companies as well as ourselves. I mean, I think it's you take financial accounting for example. That's how we understand a business's success. You see the numbers, you go, okay, we're doing well here, we're not doing well here, and you make the changes. And it's almost like you wouldn't think it, but actually, technology is helping that in the way that we get that sustainability data. And then you get the numbers, and then you get to understand what's going well and what's not going well. So then you can make those changes. And it's almost like a missing puzzle piece that we can implement into all these large companies and big impact companies that can really make a difference. And it's something great about technology. There's constantly innovations, there's constantly things happening where great minds are just coming together and creating amazing technology that does help people. So I think that's just really exciting to me.
It is. It's fantastic, and there's so much happening, like you say, across the whole industry, and within SAP especially. With the advent of the green ledger, etc., and how that's going to help customers move into the future. It is absolutely fantastic. And so, what would you say to someone who's perhaps finishing their degree to convince them to give working in SAP a go, or in the SAP kind of ecosystem, if you like?
I think for SAP, if you want to work at a company that actually values you as a young adult starting out your career, SAP is for you. You're not going to get lost in this massive company despite it being so big. You really do feel valued in everything that you do, and you get great opportunities that otherwise you might not come across so early in your career. And like I said before, it's the people. You're surrounded by people who are so knowledgeable and have so much expertise that they're willing to share with you. You gain so much knowledge and skills so much faster as well because of the people that you're surrounded with. But also, I think for a young person starting out their career, working in a technology company, it's exciting. There's so many things happening. There's so many different opportunities as well. The vast amount of roles that are available mean that you're not stuck in one position. You're not, having to sit there on an Excel sheet day to day. There's just things happening. I never have one week the same, and it's great because I'm never, bored of my job. I'm not sitting there thinking on a Monday, I don't really want to open my laptop. It's not even a thought to me. So I think if you're starting out your career, SAP is a great place to start. You're welcomed with open arms, and the company culture itself, events like Connect, and all these different opportunities that you can gain will definitely kickstart your career and make you understand a bit more about yourself as well.
Okay, Thank you. And just on that as well, we're planning. Obviously, we're well in the planning stage of UKISUG Connect this year, coming up at the end of November, and we're putting together a university hub there. So, you know, if you, what would you say to students, perhaps who have the opportunity to attend, despite the, I suppose, if we go back to what you're saying earlier, the intrepidation, there may be comfort zone issues that might come along with that. What would you say to students who have the opportunity to be there?
I'd say just do it, because it just take the opportunity. I think since probably that day, I've always had the mindset from that, take every opportunity as it comes. If you're given the opportunity to attend a conference, there's nothing you're going to lose. There's absolutely nothing you're going to lose. And when I went into it on my own, all I had in my head was there is absolutely nothing to lose by talking to this person, by being confident enough to go up to this person, when in fact I really wasn't confident at that stage in my life. And you can even ask Lindsay, when she met me, I was just this shy girl. And now she always says, you completely change, and you never know where it's going to take you. You absolutely don't know what one day for me took me to my whole career to now being on the SAP Academy. So it's very, I think it's just one of them things where if you have an opportunity, you just have to take it, because it's a lot of fun as well. You get to walk around an exhibition room. There's no thought to it. You're not having to try. You just have to enjoy yourself, and sit there and take in what everyone is giving you. Take in, if you've got this university hub, you've got people who have been through things that you're going through, so they will understand you more. You get to learn from them, in a sense that you get to see an insight into the corporate environment, which was a major factor for me. Being a university student, it's very rare that you get to have an insight into the corporate world. You barely touch it unless you have a job. So things like the Connect event mean that you get that insight, but also you get to meet people, and your network is your biggest asset. You get to meet all these people that work at SAP, that work at all these different technology companies. And yeah, I think it's just one of those opportunities that I'm so glad I took. And I didn't really even give it a thought. It was something way out my comfort zone, and it's led me to my whole career. So it's definitely worth it.
Thank you. And as we head towards a close now, what are your hopes for your SAP career?
So I hope to finish the academy with a great understanding and knowledge of the solution advisory role, and a baseline, because there's a long way to go with the solution advisory role. There's so much to learn continuously, but I really hope to be the next generation of this role, where I give the excitement into those customer presentations and engagements. I bring creativity into it, and my own personal flair into it. And yeah, I really hope to get more successful and knowledgeable in my role, because it's such a long road in terms of learning, but it's also always engaging. There's always something to know and something to learn. And with customer engagements, I think they are an opportunity for me to bring forward, all these skills that I'm learning, bring forward the creativity side that I have. And yeah, I'm taking it step by step. I think, as I always say, take every opportunity, and yeah, see how it goes.
Oh, fantastic. Well, what I would say is, Simon Geddes, watch out. Alicia's coming for you. So, Alisha, thank you. Thank you very much for spending the time with us today to share your journey and your insights and your overarching enthusiasm and positivity. So, thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And for our listeners, we hope you enjoyed the conversation and found it valuable. Please do make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the future episodes. And until the next time, stay safe, stay well, and stay happy.